Hello, this is a review about the city Tosu located in Saga on Kyushu. Most important points first. The first thing you need to understand is that the city of Tosu is less a city as you could imagine it, but rather it's an industrial area. And it comes with all these implications of an industrial area. Like loud noise, a huge amount of cars, no parks in a certain sense, no relaxation area and such. Next important point, if you don't have a car here, you basically lost. If you want to spend some time in a quiet place, then you lost. If you like organic food, then you lost. If you like environmental activities like recycling, then you simply lost. Okay, so far the most important points. Let's go into details. I'm just gonna go over every point that I experienced so far. Let's start with the industrial area. Let's zoom a little bit in. I'm basically, by the way, focusing on mostly this part because this is the only part that is like connected with or through trains. The rest here, this is like basically in the woods. You can live here, but it's very, let's call it countryside. Okay, so let's focus on this area. So first problem is that every street basically, if not otherwise stated, is a main street. That means there's a lot of cars, a huge amount of traffic going through, including 30-ton trucks. And among that, the main streets also go directly through the city, like directly next to houses, directly next to places where people are supposed to live. They also go straight next to like parks. So the city did not design its streets that, for example, take this big road here, the yellow one. It's not outside the city, so people have a quieter living, but it's like right inside the city. And this also has a couple of implications. One being that the city is very, very noisy, also especially because of this highway here. There are no measures for sound obstruction, so all the sound from all the cars, from all the huge amount of cars going right into the city are going right into your home. So far I didn't find any quiet location. There's always like the sound of cars going somewhere. And this doesn't stop like in the night, right? Like the cars are driving until, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, what other implications do we have? The city is made for cars. There are no, or like very, very few locations where you can like take a walk in a little bit like a silent area. Everything is made of, every way is made of asphalt. Every way is made for cars, not for human beings. So if you want to go jogging, have fun on the asphalt. Okay, what other implications about the cars do we have? Let's search for parks, for example. Let's say you have your child. Let's say you want to raise a child and you want to bring it to the park. First of all, this park does not exist anymore. They decided to make it a parking space. Okay, let's take, for example, this park over here. Let's say you want to make your children play over here. You see, the problem with this park is it looks pretty nice, actually. Yeah. The problem is that this is a very, very busy road, and this is a very, very busy road. We're talking many cars, and including 30-ton trucks. Okay. And the question is, if you really want to let your child play in this area, for one, it might get out of the park and get hit by a car. Two, it's very noisy and, well, depending on how you feel about that, but I think a lot of noise might not be good for your child. And third, do you want to spend time in a park where you like have 30-ton trucks coming here like every other minute? I'm not sure if that's like a good location to relax or a good location to like let a child play, apart from the fact that there's a lot of exhaust gas pollution from cars here. Okay, well, whoa, but this is only like one example. Yeah, sure, but basically every park is like that. Basically every park is on a loud street. Of course, you have these like exceptions. You have this park over here. Let's check it out. Let's check out this park over here. This is the park. You can see it's right next to the street as well. You have a little bit of a fence here. Well, that's nice. You have not so much area for like having fun with children. Let's go back here. And by the way, if you're not about your children with the parks, but if you're about you, if you want to do some sports in the park, if you want to like relax in the park after maybe a day of work or maybe on a weekend, well, you basically lost because there are no like workout stuff in the parks, apart from the fact that the parks are like very small and right next to the streets. And yeah, you have these like very special parks. You have the Asahi Koen And you have this park here in the top, which is also recommended by the city of Tosu. But what they don't tell you is that when you want to go here from somewhere down here, there is like a real steep way going to here. This is like on a mountain, right? This is also basically like on a mountain, on a small mountain. So have fun going there, apart from the fact that it's pretty far away. Also, going back to your children, you see the parks are located like this. There are not more parks than this. Imagine you're living like, let's say you live here. How do your children go from here to here? They need you to get from one location to another location. They cannot be independent. They cannot walk independently from one place to another. One reason being it's far. Another reason being people in the cars are driving very badly. Like, I would say like 70% of all the people do not keep the speed limits and do not like drive carefully even if there are people around them. I can touch cars when they overtake me while I'm on the bicycle. Which brings us to the next point. This city is very bicycle unfriendly. One reason being the cars are driving with a very bad manner, and another reason being it's a little bit difficult to explain. Let's zoom in a little bit and get a visual. Let's go over here. You see that probably if you lived in Japan, you know that like the sidewalk, the pavement is a little bit higher than the road. So you have these areas over here, this and this, where the pavement goes down, where the sidewalk goes down to the same level of the street, and then here goes up again to the level of the sidewalk, to the level of the pavement. And this ramp, let's call it a ramp, this ramp over here is pretty steep. So when you're driving with the bicycle on the pavement, it's not fun. Like, I'm really worried about flat tires. It's really no fun. You have, by the way, they don't keep their own regulations here. I measured the pavements. I measured the how you call that? The angle, the steepness, the angle. And they don't keep their own regulations here, which already means that there's something off here. Also, if you're in a wheelchair, yeah, goodbye freedom. Okay, next point. The zoning in the city is not well designed. It's not designed at all. There's no zoning, basically. For people who don't know what zoning is, it's basically the idea that, well, for example, let's say in this area only industrial businesses can do their stuff, and in this area this is like for living, only living people can live here. Only people who live can live here, which means that because the industrial area might be very noisy, we keep them away from the people's houses. This is basically the idea, I guess. But in Tosu, that's not apparent. Like the whole area, like I said in the beginning, is an industrial area, basically. So what it means is, in particular, for example, let's take this main road, right? This main road is a very, very busy road. You don't want to live on this road, right? So also, you would not want like houses being built on this road because it would be very noisy. And, well, they build houses on this road and it is very noisy. You have a balcony, but you have to scream to understand the people next to you. But then you would say, okay, let's say this is a very noisy street. Well, what about this? Well, let's just live in this area. Well, there's a park nearby, so let's live in this area. But then Tos said, well, no, not that easy, guys. This is a noisy street, but we don't put our businesses next to the noisy street. We can put our noisy businesses everywhere. So this should be a very quiet location regarding the streets, but there might be a cleaning here or a coin laundry nearby, which means that these things are running like from morning to evening. Or I had one situation where there was a very, very nice location, was very quiet, was a very nice house, and like, I don't know, 50 meters away there was a research facility with a very, very big air conditioning system outside, which was like running all the time. It was for me impossible to live. Okay, that being said, let's go to the next point. Trash. So you can throw away your trash, your burnable trash, 2 days a week. Well, that's usual. Well, what about the non-burnable trash, the recyclable trash, right? We're living in 2022. We should start recycling and stuff. We should start caring about the environment. How often can you actually throw away your recyclable stuff? Well, once a month. Once a month, and only on very, very few locations. So the burnable trash locations and the recyclable trash locations are completely different for once, and the recyclable trash locations are, if you're unlucky, very far away from your house. So we're talking about like a 10-minute walk on a weekday after you worked like Japanese hours, like 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours. Do you want to walk 10 minutes to the location where you can throw away your recyclable stuff? And by the way, paper and carton are not throwawayable. They're not like, you cannot, I mean, that was bad. They're not recyclable at the same location. You can't, like, they are not being like taken somewhere. You have to take them somewhere. You have to take them somewhere. Somewhere means, in this situation, in this case, like some company who will then process it. But there are no like official stations where you say, from the city, where you say, well, this is the recycle trash station. Also, you can throw away your paper stuff. You can throw away your cartons here. No, it's not existing. Does not exist. You have to go there. Which means, in my case, for example, I have a minimum distance of about 2 to 3 kilometers for such a location until I reach such a facility. Try that on a bicycle or by foot with like cartons weighing 2 or 3 kilograms, or maybe a bunch of paper. And as there are no organic stores in this city, I have to live off of internet orderings, which means I have a lot of carton, which means I personally am in a bad situation for throwing them away because I can't like walk 2 kilometers with a lot of cartons. That's my personal problem, but it might be a problem for you, so take care. Okay, this video is already long enough. There's a lot more to it, I guess, and I will figure out a lot more stuff. But for now, let's finish this video. At the end now, I should probably emphasize that I wouldn't say the city is bad per se, especially not for everyone. So if you like cars, if you like very loud environments, if you keep the windows in your house closed all the time anyway, if you're not at home all the time anyway, if you don't care about organic food anyway, if you don't care about like recycling anyway, well, this city is for you. Well, it's very convenient. You can get to Fukuoka quite quickly. You can get to Saga quite quickly. You can get to Kurume quite quickly. Everything is fine. But if you care about any of these things, then probably you don't want to live here.